if I want to make it easy for myself, one side of the layout is 5 foot deep and the other side is 3 foot deep. So I can reach the entirety of the 3 foot section. So I'm not in any rush to have to do that. The 5 foot section, because I've built an open frame, means that I need to concentrate on getting the back of the 5 foot section done while I can still crawl. Well, I'm still young enough to crawl under the bench work, and 2, while I can still fit through holes to get to it, because as soon as the back, so probably back 2 feet is done, then I'll start filling in the holes that allow me to reach that. I don't have any track on it, so there's not going to be any risk of, oh, a train's derailed and I can't reach it. It's going to be a case of, yeah, there's some buildings there and they look a little bit dusty and there's a cobweb or 2 on them. But for the most part, it's like there's not going to be significant maintenance. I don't envisage a 16-pound spider walking across it and crushing it. So, so once I've got those bits all done, I can fill in the holes, which some of the holes are going to have track work on. But I don't have to build them in situ. I can assemble them off stage and then bring them in and place the board in place, connect the wires, and it'll be all good. And so some of the track detail I'm not doing now, unlike Charlie, who's putting, just going blitzing all the track down and then we can do the pretty bits later. I'm now going to have to take a break from putting track down and put in some of the pretty bits, because I'm not going to be able to reach them once all the track's down. So as I'm saying, the station platform has to go in, and that's on a big flat board. So I just need to get round it and do all the bits at the back of the big board before I can't reach them. And then the other parts of that is beyond the flat board it's on, there is a hole, and oops, I am going to need to fill in that scenery between the back and where the station, the deepest part of the station. So there's going to be a station approach somewhere that horses and carriages or trucks or taxis or buses can drive. There's going to be access to the freight yard. Well, I can't put the freight yard in until I've done all that bit, but I'm going to have to consider there's going to be a freight yard there and there's going to need to be a road into it. So I have to work that bit out. And then once that's all done, I mean, even the station built, I only have to worry about the station platforms where the people walk. I don't have to worry about the station buildings. I'm going to have to worry about the fences, because I'm not going to be able to reach where the fences need to go at the back. But where the station building is on the opposite side to where I intend the freight yard to be, so that hole is going to be there for a lot longer. And it's either going to be a village, it's going to be the beginnings of a town, going to have a pub or a hotel or a post office, or the stuff you normally see around town. Actually, I think that was the last row, so we just need to start running our way back. I think that might actually be wider. Oh, we'll figure it out when we do the headland this side. For right now, start working my way back across the field. Of course, the next question I need to think about is, do I drive back to the store and fill up with seed, or do I get my little John Deere and bring some seed over here? I'm going to have to take a time out from planting when that happens. Either way, because alternate rows, the worker's just going to have a problem with that. Oh, tramline width, 27 metres. Well, yeah, I guess. If the guy wants tram lines, I guess I should plant that. We won't get to see that until the crop germinates, and we might be back up this way if the field needs fertilisation, and I figure, you know what, yeah, I don't mind fertilising this mess of a field. Okay, done, and yeah, last Saturday we went off to an agricultural steam fair, which basically lots of steam tractors, a steam crane, a thresher, ploughing demonstrations, although we didn't see the ploughing demonstration. We did watch the thresher. They were supposed to have a tractor pull, but unfortunately the big giant heavy thing that they're supposed to drag in the tractor pull had broken a pin, and they were waiting for someone to bring a pin, so they missed their afternoon scheduled time on Saturday. And then they had lots of burger stands and stuff. All good fairground foods. No rides. And then lots of steam tractors. Or as Brits would call them, traction engines. And then some of them were actually gas or diesel powered. But similarly hulking great engines that resemble traction engines but don't have a fire or an external fire to heat up water. They don't run water either. So that was all fun and interesting. And I did extract all of the video I took from the camera, and I might sometime this week throw a couple of the videos out to YouTube, depending what else is distracting me. I may end up with waiting till my back procedure happens, because I'm going to have that whole week off and throw up additional videos that week. I don't know. Depends how I feel. I probably won't be editing any of the videos. It'll just be a video dump of, I went to the fair and here's what happened. And no commentary either. Anyway, how are we doing here? It is now 10 after 11 real time. It is 3:23, and you know what? I was going to jump over to the tractor at my farm. When I got to this end of the field. I'm at this end of the field and working my way back, so maybe what we need to do is turn around here and get it all lined up. Oh, bit too far over. There we go. And let's go see what's happening. So this thing is still working rows, but looking kind of good here. Looks like it's done all of that side. So nearly at the headland section. It's just got to do these bits up here and then we'll be running the headland. So that's not got too far left to run. That is doing this little bulge here. Then it's going to have to run around those trees and do that bit there. May actually get to the end of this bit and then run around the trees and do that bit and work its way back to the middle. Don't know. Workers are weird sometimes like that. You're fine, you're fine. We're back to here. Let's do that and do that. Okay. And get rolling again. Or not rolling. So we're nearly 30% of the way through. The cultivating is well on its way to getting close to complete. So that's awesome. We will get paid a ton of money for that. But 3:30, I'm probably going to be doing this into the darkness. Because this, I don't think I can get this contract done before nightfall, so I might be running into October 2 to get this done. I'm pretty confident the cultivator's going to be done. I mean, it's been running for about 8 hours at 80% done, so 10 hours, 2 more hours it should be done. Is good. This one not quite so sure. With 30% done, 20, so 75% of a tank is 30%. Multiplied by 3. I'm going to need 1.5 more tanks. So, yeah, we're going to need probably 7,000. Yeah, 7,000 litres of seed to get this job done. That's fine. Nearly down to less than 90, less than 1,000. So. See how far we can get. I'm not really sure I want to be doing that bottom leg of the field with almost no seed left, because that does mean I'm going to have to drive a lot further to get more. I can do is when we get to that grass spur there, just run off to the store, get more seed. And then continue doing what we're doing. So anyway. August. And I'm kind of hoping 23rd of August I should be well enough to stream that weekend. However, Mrs. Osa is considering a run down to visit her family. Which, if that happens, there won't be a stream that weekend. But we're going to have to see how good I'm feeling before we even talk about that possibility. And we're not going to know that until after my procedure's done. So, at this stage, there might not be a stream on the 23rd because either I just can't sit here for that long or I'm not here. And then you won't find out until the following week, of course, because I'm not streaming. Or I will be streaming, and I'm doing that because I'm able to sit for 3 hours straight at my desk. And we didn't go on vacation. Now, there is the possibility I may do a later Ohio trip between now and before Christmas, before it starts snowing. There is a fair risk that snow happens pretty much any time after September, so we're going to have to be very cognizant of how much weather we're about to see and whether it's a good plan to drive to Ohio or not, considering what the weather's doing at that time. But, the problem is Mrs. Osa's had a lot of health issues in the last couple of years. I've had a lot of health issues with my back and my shoulders, and so it kind of works out that either I'm taking vacation time to visit the doctor on my behalf, or visiting Mrs. Osa in the hospital, or driving Mrs. Osa to see her doctors. And so I was taking an awful lot of time away from work that really wasn't vacation. So we're coming up to pretty much the first year that we haven't had an absolute ton of medical issues that have just burnt through my vacation time, and I just don't have time to do anything else. And that's pretty much since 2020. We moved in 2020. We had a contractor in replacing the floors, and that needed to be done. I am extremely allergic to hair and feathers, and the previous owner had cats, and the carpets were just logged with hair. And as soon as the contractor went to work, I could barely breathe because of all the cat dander and everything else. But there were issues with the family in Ohio, so Mrs. Osa went to visit, and I had to stay home to supervise the contractor and work. So that was what was going on, and then COVID broke out, and our dozy governor decided that furniture isn't a necessity, so close down all the furniture stores. So as soon as the contractor, and contract work wasn't a necessity either. And so it's like, you can't have contractors in to do work on your house. You can't go out and buy new furniture for your house. And that happened the contractor finished on the Thursday, and COVID restrictions came in on the Monday. Mrs. Osa was still in Ohio. And I think Ohio was putting in COVID restrictions on the Monday, and Ohio and Michigan was putting in restrictions on the Tuesday. So Mrs. Osa had to be out of Ohio by midnight of the Monday in order to get home without breaking restrictions. I think at that point, so there were shortages. There were shortages on toilet paper. There were also shortages on yeast and flour and bread. So Mrs. Osa, I googled all of the local stores and found that the Kroger that's in Ann Arbor, which she had to drive past on the way to get here, or not literally drive past, she'd have usually been on the highway, but if you come off the highway and go to Kroger, pick up some yeast so we can make bread. So she did that. And then, we were pretty much sat at home for 2 months with no furniture because our governor's stupid. And the day that the furniture store opened, I took the day off work and we went, we were sitting on the front step of the furniture shop the first day they were allowed to open. And we bought dining room table and chairs and a sectional for the living room and all sorts of things like that. We couldn't buy it earlier because we had our office in what was intended to be the living room while we had the floors being put down. And once we relocated all of the office furniture into what was going to be the office, all the stores were closed. So we couldn't get living room furniture. So we bought all that stuff. And that was actually good timing. The thing was because COVID restrictions had been so sudden, the store had all the furniture. They had all the furniture on display. They had all the furniture at the warehouse, and they hadn't been able to sell anything. They didn't have a strong online presence, and you really needed to go in to order the stuff and get it delivered. So we were there first thing on Wednesday, and they're like, we can have this delivered. I can't remember if it came on Thursday or if it came on Friday, but it was literally, we can deliver this as soon as our drivers get the van loaded, because we don't have any pending orders. Everybody who'd ordered stuff back in February had kind of had their orders cancelled because we don't know when we're allowed to deliver it, but we can't deliver it because COVID restrictions. And so some people had changed their minds or found other ways of, doing furniture. And so what was at the warehouse was immediately available. And so we got that. And within 2 weeks, their warehouse was out of stock because none of their manufacturers had been making anything. And the store was running clear on stuff, display stuff as well, because we still want to sell stuff, and what's on the shop floor is all that we've got. And that was a total mess, but we actually got stuff in. Then I think our fridge broke, which came with the house because it was old, and it took about 6 months before we could get a replacement fridge because everybody was out of stock. There wasn't any. So crazy times. But that was the last time Mrs. Osa had a vacation. And I think it was her stepmom had died, which is why she was, it was that or an uncle. That's why she'd had to go to Ohio on short notice, and I just couldn't arrange the time off plus contractor replacing the floors, so I had to be here. or somebody had to be here. But yeah, after that all happened, it's like Mrs. Osa's health issues, my health issues, and there's just been very little in the way of vacations anywhere. I think I will be able to do one more up and down pass, and then we're going to have to go to the store and buy some seeds, which is fine, as expected. But as of next year, I should have more vacation time available for vacations, so that'll be a good thing. We'll see what happens next year. But for now, I'm going to be streaming every Saturday that I am able to. So I'm 38% done, 3% left in the tank. So 33 litres. Can I make it back to the top? That's going to be an interesting question. Got my row. Click and dock. Okay. As I said, I think we should be able to make it to the top. I'm not going to do anything to try and get the tanks emptied. I'm just gonna, as soon as we get to the top, we'll fold up, we'll go down to the store, we'll grab some more seed, and then I'll pick up from where we left off. But I'm probably gonna call it the end of the day at that point for streaming. Oh, we've only got 109,000 money left. Those contractors are costing me. How am I doing? 75 litres, yeah, okay. And done. Fold it up. Turn it off. Oh, that was a little steep. I think when we come back, we'll go through the shallow bit and then drive along the top of the field. That would be the better plan. Shadows are getting longer. Well, it's October, so they would be. Wonder how far the Ripper's got. Guess we'll figure that out. This oncoming traffic is getting very worried. Okay, I haven't hit a street sign for a while, guys. There we